A fight brewing over Georgia's primary election process.
That's right, developing tonight. Some Republicans are pushing to end what are known as open primaries. That allows you to cast a vote in either party's primary. And Georgia is one of only 14 states in the country that have open primaries. The rule raising concerns about crossover voting.
According to the Associated Press, more than 37,000 people who voted in Georgia's Democratic primary back in 2020 voted in this year's Republican primary.
CBS 46's Adam Murphy live in Midtown with some new perspective on the issue. Adam.
Well, good evening, Rick. While thousands of Georgians crossed over, statistics show that more than 90% of those people who voted in the primary a couple of weeks ago did not cross party lines. And in fact, that has been the case now for the past 4 primary elections dating back to 2016. A trip to the polls in Georgia is now at the center of a political debate. Some Republican politicians believe too many Democrats voted in the state's GOP primary in order to vote against candidates endorsed by former President Donald Trump. In fact, the 5 statewide GOP candidates whom Trump had targeted for defeat, including Governor Brian Kemp and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, ended up winning their primary elections.
This is based on actual data.
Political analyst Mark Roundtree said the crossover vote is real, but most voters don't do it. Early voting records found that more than 37,000 people who voted in Georgia's Democratic primary 2 years ago crossed over to cast ballots in the May 24 Republican primary.
It's 7.6%. That might have been enough to help someone like Raffensperger clear the 50% margin, that's true. But most people are not crossing over between the parties in Georgia. We have 2 very stark ideologies between the 2 parties here.
The proposal to close Georgia's primary system and not allow voters to choose the political party of their choice on primary election day is likely to face heavy opposition.
Some political parties like the idea of a closed primary because it sort of purifies the party itself. It purifies ideologically. The downside is that it reduces the number of people voting in the primaries.
Now, I reached out to Governor Brian Kemp and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams to get their take on an open versus closed primary. Kemp did not want to weigh in on this one. Abrams, on the other hand, did, and she said she supports open primaries, saying ultimately it allows for greater participation. Live in Midtown Atlanta tonight, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.